Hey, what's up everybody? Gannon here. In the future, when I go to make Star Trek content, I want to include some skits, like at the start and maybe in between the middle informational parts of my videos. I've already went to do one of these skits, and I noticed how in the future I'm definitely going to need a phaser. Online, phasers are kind of expensive, and I really don't want to go around the galaxy just popping females in the face like Captain Kirk. No, I need a more elegant and ethical way to put down my female enemies. In today's video, I'm going to show you all the steps it took to make this homemade DIY Star Trek The Original Series inspired phaser. From printing to priming to painting, I'm going to show you everything I did to make this, so stay tuned. Alright, so I'm going to put in my USB stick to my computer, load up my slicer program. Today I'm going to be using Lychee Slicer. I'm going to add some supports to the model, and then it is going to render it out layer by layer onto my USB drive. I'm going to pull that back out and then go to start prepping my printer. Today I'm going to be using my Mono X 4K by Anycubic. Just going to be using some standard gray resin. As you can see right here, I am leveling the print plate, and I'm going to put on my vat that I am going to fill with this goop. The way that the 3D printer basically works is you fill it up with the goop, and the print plate goes up and down into the goop, and there is a screen at the bottom that blasts it with the correct amount of UV light to cure it in the correct places. And then it just goes up and down about 1,000 times, depending on what you're printing, and then there you have it. You have your finished print. Now we're going to take that off of the print plate. Then I'm going to break the supports off of the phaser. And there are going to be some extra little supports always scattered throughout the model, so I'm going to get those with a hobby knife and some pliers. Alright, now that's looking pretty good. It is time to give it a wash in some 90% isopropyl alcohol. This is going to be used to get off the extra resin that is on the model that isn't cured. Then after we've put that in the curing machine, we are going to prime it just with some Walmart primer. No need to overpay for primer. Walmart has it for $5 a bottle. Got the tape over the parts that I would like to keep black, and then right here, this is the part that I'm going to be airbrushing. The TOS phaser is mostly like this blue color, and then it has like the silver accents, and then there's large portions of it that are black, which I've covered with the tape. Going to be mixing some paints, and I'm going to be using some paints from the old Citadel line because I'm a Warhammer stan. Going to be mixing some Stegadon Stale Green with this Thunderhawk Blue. Now, this Thunderhawk Blue is the paint that most reminds me of the TOS phaser color, but it is a layer paint, so I'm going to be mixing it with a little bit of this base paint to hopefully, you know, make it stick better. So I'm gonna mix this with some thinner real quick, and then it's going to be time to spray. I'm very pleased with that color. The Stegadon Stale Green is coming out brilliantly. Alright, now that we're done spray painting, I'm going to meticulously pull off this painter's tape from the phaser, and we're going to begin now to paint the rest of the details. Going to get my paint water, my brushes, and my little paint palette. Going to be using matte black, Stormhost silver, and Iron Hand steel to paint the rest of the phaser. First off, we're just going to go up and touch up all those places that just don't look good after we've gotten done with the spray paint portion and after we've removed that extra paint. And I'm going to paint all the metal parts of the phaser with Iron Hand's steel. That includes like the barrel on the front, the sides of the little mini phaser that attaches to it, and then all of the accents on the body of the phaser. Then I'm going to glue on
the little dial that changes the power of the phaser, it didn't come out well in the original print, so I had to reprint it and put it on later. Now we're going to be using some Nuln shade oil over all of those metal parts, going to get within the recesses, of course. Going to let that dry, and it's just going to make the metal pop and just kind of have more definition later. Then after that, finally, we're going to do one final touch up with that mix of Stegodon Stale Green and Thunderhawk Blue, and I'm going to touch up the black parts as well with matte black and finish off the phaser with the highlighting of Stormhost Silver.
Alright, so yeah, those were all the steps. After I got done doing all of those things, you just finish off your piece with a little bit of spray varnish so that the paint doesn't come off later when you go around to, you know, play with it. The print was a little bit warped and wonky, that it's not totally perfect. If I was better at printing and I knew how to calibrate my printer better, I probably could have gotten it looking a little bit better than this, but as I've stated before, I went into this with the intention of making a prop, and when I'm using this in a video, I think that it is going to more than pass. I think that looks pretty good. I will probably go and attempt to make phasers from other Star Trek shows in the future, and I'll probably try to make them better looking and step up my game from this one. But this is my first one. This is like my first project, and I think I did a pretty good job this time around. What do you guys think? Leave it down in the comments below. I love comments. They're my favorite thing about YouTube. Be very flattered if you were to subscribe if you enjoy any of the content on the channel. Slap a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And with all that being said, I'm gonna have to see you guys in the next one. Live long and prosper.